Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz and welcome to episode 11 in our campaign game with Sherman Leader, the 2017 World War II tactical combat game published by Verssen Games. We're halfway through our first battle in week 3. We have to wipe out this battalion in order to have a chance for a great result in the campaign. And although we've done pretty well so far, we've already seen in this game how things can turn on a dime and go from good to bad. So let's jump into the action and see if we can finish off this battalion. Fingers crossed. Here's a quick overview of the battle as we head into turn 4 out of 6. Our forces have moved up to the edge of this town here. All our 4 infantry teams are in position. We have knocked out 2 rifle teams, a mortar team, and an anti-tank gun. The German battalion has 3 anti-tank guns left as well as a mortar team. If we eliminate one of these, we'll have gotten it down to half strength, which means that its movement patterns will change. We need to eliminate 3 of the 4 remaining units left to wipe it out over these last 3 turns. One little comment, Peter Oakley mentioned that the anti-tank gun, which if you recall ended the last episode up here, should have been moved here. So I did that in between episodes just to get it in the correct place because it was an easy thing to fix. A side note was that it was able to get a couple of shots at Sergeant Zebra's rifle machine gun squad because we moved it into the wrong place that it wouldn't have gotten had I put it in the right place, but I'm not undoing results like that, we're just leaving those in place. So let's take a look at our infantry teams and then get into the action. Here's a quick look at our 4 infantry teams and their status. We have 2 wounded commanders, Sergeant Zebra with his experienced machine gun team, Sergeant Sanders with his rifle team, both have commander wounded, and Sergeant Headland's machine gun team is in casualty status. If they pick up one similar counter, they will be eliminated. Other than that, most commanders have just a little bit of stress, manageable at the moment. Let's roll for German tactical movement on the 6-sided die. We get a 4. Which is advance to cover, adjacent cover, and hold. All of that's left is mortars and anti-tank guns, so that means all of the German units will hold for this turn. Let's start with our anti-tank gun on the left. It will fire across at Sergeant Headland's machine gun team. It's at a range of 2, so its normal 7s means it needs 8s or better to hit, firing 2 shots. 6 and a 6. Nice start for us, both misses. Next, let's move to the anti-tank gun that's right next to these units. It will fire as well at Sergeant Headland's machine gun team. It needs 7s or better at a range of 1. 5 and a 5. Again, 2 misses. Next up, the anti-tank gun that is 1 hex farther away. Likewise, its target is Sergeant Headland's machine gun team. At a range of 2, it needs 8s or better to hit, firing 2 shots. 7 and a 3. Once again, the anti-tank guns miss. Most excellent. The last German unit to fire will be the mortar team. Likewise, a team with the squad with the lowest defense. Again, Sergeant Headland. Normally it needs 6s, but at a range of 2, it needs 7s or better to hit, firing 2 shots. A 10 and a 10. Oof. Deadly shooting puts 2 hits on Sergeant Headland's machine gun team. With a defense of 2 in High City, they need 4s or less to negate them. A 4 and a 10. 1 hit is negated, 1 hit gets through. Let's hope Sergeant Headland can survive this one. The turn had been going so well for us. We get... Oh, nice. No effect. Sergeant Headland survives the turn despite taking fire from 4 different units. Let's start out our half of the turn by having Sergeant Headland return fire. He's going to take on this anti-tank gun in the field. With his machine gun team at a range 1, he gets a +2 bonus. High explosive attack is a 2. That means we need 1s or better to hit, which is an automatic hit. 7 and a 9. 2 hits on the anti-tank gun. It needs 2s or less on both of these to survive. An 8 and a 1. The anti-tank gun is knocked out. Sergeant Headland gets his 2nd kill, and we've reduced the battalion to under half strength. I think our basic strategy going forward here is to ignore the unit on the left-hand side because we can kill the battalion by knocking out these 2 remaining units here. And we're going to send our units forward in such a way that if the AI orders it to retreat to cover, we're going to deny that rule, so that's going to pin it in the middle. So let's start out by moving up Sergeant Graham and his infantry unit forward into the field here, out of their cover, to fire at the anti-tank gun and the mortar. So with Sergeant Graham in position now in the field, he's going to fire at the mortar. This is by far the most dangerous unit of the German units that are left, and it has the same defense too. So normally he needs 5s to hit, however he's moved, which puts on a 2 penalty, means 7s or better to hit. At range 1, however, Sergeant Graham has a +1 bonus, so 6s or better to hit. 2 shots. 3 and a 1. Both And Sergeant Graham picks up another point of stress. Sergeant Sanders will go next. He's going to move up into the field and do the same thing. Fire at the mortar. Once again, we need 6s or better to hit. 2 shots. 1 and a 1. That's as bad a shooting as you can get. So both shots miss, and Sergeant Sanders picks up a point of stress, taking him to 2. He is right on the edge of being shaken. He only needs 3 stress to break. We're going to put all our chips on the table here. Sergeant Zebra charges with his machine gun unit across the field. He's going to try to take out the mortar team as well. Normally he needs 1s or better to hit. Because he's moved, he needs 3s or better to hit. 2 shots that will put 2 stress on him. We're hoping it's worth it. Needs 3s or better to hit. 8 and a... I was hoping to get 2 hits. We need 1. 5, 3 or more, and we've knocked it out. 7! Excellent. Sergeant Zebra picks up a kill of the mortar team. That leaves the battalion, the German battalion, with only 2 anti-tank guns left. Sergeant Zebra, however, picks up 4 stress now total, which means he is right as well on the edge of being shaken. 5 stress and he would be shaken. Let's head on to turn 5. Let's roll for the German movement at the start of turn 5. Now, one interesting thing, because the battalion's at less than half strength, or at half strength or less, we normally subtract 2 from the dice roll on their tactical movement. However, one of the conditions of this invasion scenario is that we only subtract 1 from the die roll. However, if we do roll a 1, the order would be for the trucks or the mortars, the anti-tank guns, to retreat. That would retreat it off the board, which would kill the unit in terms of our victory point score and wipe out the battalion. So this could end, if we were to get fortunate, with this die roll. Let's see what happens. A 3. That did not happen. Instead, we get a hold, so we're going to come under fire, and we're going to have to wipe out that last anti-tank gun in order to wipe this battalion out. Let's start with the German anti-tank gun here in the bocage on the left side. They're going to fire at Sergeant Sanders. I think would make the most sense for them to fire at, because he's got a stress of 2 and he's already wounded. He's not having the best day here in terms of mental health. The anti-tank gun at a range of 2 needs 8s or better to hit. Our troops are also in the open field charging across. 8 and a 5. Oof, 1 hit gets through. Defense of Sergeant Sanders' team is a 3. No bonus because it's in the open field. We need 3s or less to negate the hit. 9. Uh-oh. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Sergeant Sanders picking a damage chit. Let's see what we get. Hopefully it's good. Suppressed. Just to clarify too, suppressed means that if Sergeant Sanders opts to fire in his portion of the turn, he would suffer another stress, putting him shaken. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll make that decision when we get there. Let's go next to our last anti-tank gun. The last anti-tank gun has 3 targets, all at the same level of hit probability. However, our house rule says it's going to pick the target with the highest special options cost. So that is Sergeant Zebra's machine gun team. The anti-tank gun needs 7s or better to hit. Oof, that's painful. 2 hits. Sergeant Zebra gets hit in the open. Zebra needs 3s or less to negate the hits. 8 and 8. We're picking 2 damage chits for Sergeant Zebra's machine gun team. This is dangerous, and he is wounded. If we get another wounded counter, it is the end of the campaign for Sergeant Zebra, on which could be the last turn for his campaign. Oh, Sergeant Zebra. I'm so sorry. Commander KIA. Sergeant Zebra tumbles to the ground. He is knocked out of action. His machine gun team, however, I believe stays in action. And they will have to take 1 more damage chit just to see what happens to the machine gun team. We get a 1 stress. Well, that only applies to commanders, so that doesn't matter. But Sergeant Zebra, a moment of silence for him. To end this battalion, all we have to do is to knock out this anti-tank gun. We will start with Sergeant Zebra's machine gun team to see if they can avenge his loss. Without a leader, there is a 2-shot penalty to firing. However, the machine gun team normally needs 1s to hit, so it still only needs 3s or better to hit. 2 shots, 3 and an 8. Both shots hit the anti-tank gun. Needs 2s or less to negate them. 3 and a 5. Sergeant Zebra's machine gun team avenge their commander's loss and take out the anti-tank gun. And with that, this battle actually comes to a close because the German battalion is reduced to 3 strength points or less. So we don't have to resolve the other ones. Actually, I changed my mind a little bit. Let's have Sergeant Headland charge across the field with his machine gun team just to see if we can get him another kill. He would need 2s normally to hit. However, He's moved. He needs 4s. Sergeant Headland, however, has a +2 bonus, so we need 2s or better to hit again with the machine gun team. A 1 and a 3. Ooh, only 1 hit in this situation. Machine gun team, the anti-tank gun is in bocage, so it needs 3s or less to survive this. 5. Sergeant Headland picks up the kill and knocks out the anti-tank gun, completely wiping out the German artillery battalion. Nice work, Sergeant Headland. Picked up 2 kills in this episode. Let's wrap up our battle here. The first thing we have to do at the immediate end of a battle is to draw an battle event card. We get clear skies, no adjustment, so no impact from that event card. Next, let's adjust our operational map. We have 3 German battalions. Whoops, these are in the wrong place somehow. 3 German battalions left. This was the artillery battalion. It is knocked out. And let's take a look now at how this impacts our victory points for the campaign. So here's our victory point status update. We had 14 points coming into this battle. We pick up 2 more, which gives us 16 points. So we are still kind of firmly in the good evaluation range. We need 2 more points to get to 18, which would give us the great evaluation, and we'll try for that in our next and final battle in this campaign. But before we sign off, let's take a look at our commanders and see how they've done in this battle and adjust their stress and experience as well. Let's take a look at Sergeant Zebra, who unfortunately, a moment of silence again as he became our 3rd commander killed, including Consul and Consul Jr. It is worth noting that he had 6 kills coming into this campaign. He picked up 4, giving him 10 for the campaign and making him our kill leader, although it is a posthumous award at best. Thank you very much, Sergeant Zebra, for your service. Sorry that you died on the very last turn of the very last battle of your particular campaign. Sergeant Headland had a happier battle, however. He picks up 3 kills during the battle. He had 4 stress at the end because of his charge at the end. However, he's going to pick up 2 more stress because of being in this battle. He is, however, cool. He has a cool rating of 1 now. So that would mean 4 + 2 - 1 leaves him with 5 stress. Of course, the stress is irrelevant now because the campaign for Sergeant Headland is over. He would be in that shaken category if we were to continue on. He does get 2 more experience points, giving him 3, but he's well away from the 9 he would need to move beyond the average rank of commander. Sergeant Graham picks up 1 kill in the battle, giving him a total of 2 for the entire campaign. Also, in a more exciting, upon another positive note, he gets 2 experience points, which gives him 4 and allows us to promote Sergeant Graham all the way up to the skilled commander level. He had 2 stress to start the battle with. He also picks up 2 more. That will give him 4. Now, he is cool now, but you apply the stress before you apply the promotion. So he would be at 4 stress, and he would be okay as he doesn't get shaken until 5 stress, were this campaign to continue on to a 4th week. Sergeant Sanders does not pick up any kills in the battle, so he ends the campaign with 3 kills total. He gets 2 experience points, giving him from 2 all the way up to 4. That isn't enough for him to get beyond the green status. He would pick up 2 stress in the battle, which would give him 4. However, he is cool now, the 1 on the left-hand side, which would reduce it back down to 3. And it's worth note that he will get a Purple Heart because he ends the campaign wounded from picking up a wound in this battle. One other side note, too, I noticed in editing some of the video that Sergeant Sanders is cautious, and I did have him move and fire in the same turn on the mortar unit, I think, towards the end of the battle. He missed, so it didn't impact the outcome of the battle, but I shouldn't have done that. That seemed to be something I've consistently missed. I know I've missed it 2 or 3 times in the course of the campaign, and it's you have to kind of catch it on the bottom of the card there. I find it's an easy thing to overlook. So something to get better at in terms of playing. But there's a wrap-up on our commanders. Let's take a couple of final thoughts on the campaign and the battle and see what's left to do. Looking ahead to our final battle of the campaign, we'll be going against a small tank force, 4 tanks, 2 half-tracks, and 4 armored cars. In order to get the great evaluation, we need to knock it out because reducing it to half strength would only give us 1 victory point, leaving us 17 and 1 point shy of a great evaluation. So we must destroy this battalion, reducing it down to 4 strength points or less. Now, we have 4 units, Sergeant Hart, Sergeant Kelly, Sergeant Wagner, and Sergeant Myers coming into the battle. Only Sergeant Hart and Sergeant Myers are really going to be effective at shooting at armored targets. And Sergeant Myers is in our M4 Jumbo. It's also worthy of note that he's going to be jumping into that battle with a damaged hull because we were not able to fix it. So big challenges ahead in the last battle to see if we can clean up this small tank force and pick up the great evaluation. I have a feeling it's going to be 4 against 10 units. This is a much stronger unit than the artillery unit, and we're not really set up that well for it with the units we've got left. It's going to be a pretty big stretch. So I hope you'll join in as we kind of start probably the last 2 episodes of the campaign, starting in our next battle. We'll do episodes 12 and 13, and that will probably wrap things up and bring this campaign to an end. Hopefully we can pick up the great evaluation. I do think it's also worth noting I've made some mistakes in some of the different things, and we've adjusted the difficulty, so I'm not really sure how much the great evaluation means anything, and certainly not anything in terms of my skill at playing the game, but it is kind of a fun little target to aim for in terms of the story narrative. So I do hope you'll turn in for episodes 12 and 13 to see if we can get that great evaluation and finish up this campaign on a high note. Thank you as always for tuning in. We'll see you in episode 12. It should be out. No travel coming up in the near future, so it should be out. I'm hopeful maybe on Monday or so we'll get that started. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great weekend.